Sao Paulo, the largest city in Brazil, hosts the penultimate round of the 2014 World Championship. When drivers tested the soft tyres for the first time, it was Nico Rosberg that set the pace.
And that is quite a lap from Nico Rosberg. I wonder what happened to Hamilton. He went wide. That's what happened to Hamilton. He ran wide in the right-hander at Mergulho, down at turn 11.
Both Ferraris would also go off before an eventful session came to a close. Kimi Räikkönen spinning twice at the track where he claimed the World Championship in 2007. First he repeated Juncadella's spin from earlier, before going off again at Juncao.
Oh, and off's gone Räikkönen. Räikkönen off and bounces over the grass backwards.
FIA have reinstated full points for the USA Grand Prix after Mercedes successfully argued the case for them to do so in a formal hearing. It means Lewis Hamilton now leads the Drivers' Championship by 10 points. And after months of rumours, Sebastian Vettel has confirmed he will be leaving Red Bull Racing at the end of the season to join Ferrari. Many speculate the pen was put to paper at the Italian Grand Prix, the race where the German retired after a collision with his teammate.
Well, obviously, I mean, Seb's been with Red Bull for 15 years, you know, as a junior driver and as a Formula One driver. So, you know, he's obviously been giving this a great deal of thought. He informed us last night. You know, obviously had his reasoning, you know, behind that. I don't think he'd taken the decision lightly, and was obviously very emotional about it. But as of January the 1st, he'll be a competitor.
What's going on, guys? Aarava here. Today I bring my F1 2014 100% race ultra modded career mode. We're here with episode 37 of the career mode series, round 18, the penultimate round in this season at the Brazilian Grand Prix. We've got a 51% chance of rain today in the race, so obviously we're on the dry tyres at the moment, as you can see, those white wall medium tyres. So obviously the rain will be coming later on in the race, so hopefully we can gain enough positions at the start of the race so we aren't bogged down in the rain, because I do think the AI are going to be pretty good around here in the wet versus me, so hopefully we can gain enough positions at the start to not have that as a hindrance. The livery today is going to be the colour version of the Dazzle camo. I sort of ran it at Singapore, but this has been modified to kind of be the original livery. Obviously at Singapore I ran that tribute to Monty Ohm. So here is the setup for the Brazilian Grand Prix. We've gone pretty lightly on the wings as well, just in case the rain is quite heavy. I suspect it will go all the way to a full wet weather, so just put the wings a bit higher than usual. The pit stops are option prime option. I don't think we'll get to that third pit stop, maybe the second. We'll see how it goes here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. A good track of mine, I guess. I mean, I like to drive it, but I don't think I'm necessarily that fast, but we'll see how it goes against the AI today. The penultimate round of this season. We're 10 points behind Hamilton now. We need to do everything we can to try and overhaul that for Abu Dhabi. Alright lads, here we are at the Brazilian Grand Prix. We've got to try and overhaul as much as we can on the 10 points we've lost to Hamilton. Here we are for 5 red lights at the Brazilian Grand Prix, penultimate round, and we are off, bolting towards that turn 1. Obviously the Senna S, we're going to try and make as many positions as we can. We're sort of going to set ourselves up for the back straight almost. So here we are going around the outside of the Marussia and the Caterham, trying to slot in on the left hand side of Gutierrez. They're just about made it. We go past both the Saubers there on the right hand side, up into Rich Mix now onto the back straight. We're going to try and overtake Verne, and I think that was Perez there in the Force India on the right, down the back straight, and looks like the Lotus is getting squeezed out of Maldonado. Yes, he is. He gets squeezed out. We're going to try and squeeze out Perez on our right hand side. He tries to overtake us. Grosjean's being squeezed out. We're up to 12th place. Absolute fantastic start. Not even the end of Sector 1 yet, and we're up to 12th place here. Magnussen, another car getting squeezed out there. I think that was Bottas, another maybe a Toro Rosso. We're going to overtake Magnussen and maybe Bottas. The Toro Rosso of Kvyat goes around the outside of Massa there in front of us. We're going to try and overtake Bottas still. He's still right on besides us. There he is, trying to squeeze us out there. We're still side by side with him, but we just overtake him there for 10th place now on that inside corner, and we're up to 10th by pretty much 2/3 of the way of lap 1. Awesome start, just the start we needed there really. So we have to try and overhaul Hamilton. At the moment Hamilton is in the lead, surprise surprise, of this race, so we're going to have to really push hard. We're still in rich mix at the moment, -2 fuel, so we have to think about that later on in the race. But there we just had to duck out the move as Massa almost brake checked me there, as I think he got brake checked by Kvyat. So now we're going to overtake him on the exit of that corner up towards this hill climb for 9th place. Kvyat trying to overtake, I think that's Raikkonen maybe. So I think we can maybe try and get him if he's too busy trying to overtake Raikkonen. We're going down to standard mix now, because we're on -2 fuel, so that will come back to bite us if we just stay in rich mix. So at some point we're going to have to try and save that fuel, obviously. Maybe in the rain period that might be a good time, we'll see how it goes. But the engine is getting a little bit hot there, and we're cutting to the end of lap 2 now. We're chasing down Kvyat. Obviously DRS isn't activated until this lap, so now we will get DRS on this next back straight. Going to try and maybe close in on Kvyat. We thought about maybe making a move, but no, we'll just stick behind him through the center S. We get a really nice exit here, and we're launching ourselves onto the back straight. Kvyat's even closer to Raikkonen than we are to them, and looks like he's going to get DRS. He's going to try and overtake Raikkonen, so we may not overtake him, but can we overtake the Iceman himself in the Ferrari? Yes, we can down the inside. Pretty easy move. He was sort of a sitting duck to both of us, really, with both of us having DRS. Daniel and Raikkonen just a sitting duck there, but very interesting that the Toro Rosso with the DRS was able to sort of get away from us almost, with us in the Red Bull with DRS. So that may be a factor in the race, especially with the Mercedes. If the Mercedes can maybe DRS off themselves, you know what I mean? You know, if Rosberg DRS off Hamilton and then vice versa, it can maybe get away from us a little bit, because I don't think his Red Bull has the speed even with DRS. Obviously, I had 5.5 wings for the setup, you know, looking towards that rain period. So maybe the top speed is not too great in this Red Bull in the dry period of the race. But, you know, 51% chance of rain. The rain will come. It has to come. So I've sort of planned for that. So on lap 3 now, towards the end of it, onto lap 4 with DRS on Kvyat. Can we try and get him down the inside of turn 1? We're going to dive down the inside, bang, and that is done. Up to 7th place. That was actually a pretty easy move. Kvyat didn't put up much of a fight there. We're up to 7th place. Obviously in the Toro Rosso, so maybe his team got the call from our Red Bull pit crew to not do too much of a fuss. And now on the back straight, we're going to overtake Hulkenberg very easily there. And we've set the purple sector in the first sector, so we're going really bolting away now and trying to catch these top 6 here. And Alonso is next now in blue, obviously chosen as my rival for this season, even though Hamilton is technically really my rival. But now onto lap 5 now. Vettel set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, 1:12.4. I've only set a 1:12.9, so Vettel going at a rate of knots at the moment, and I think he's battling the Mercs for the lead at the moment. But now we're concentrating Alonso up ahead in the Ferrari with DRS. Easy move, purple sector again in the first sector, but another really good DRS move, and that just works so effectively here at Brazil. Really great track, really, for overtaking. Much like Spa, really, the DRS really works effectively here. You know, races like Hungary, you know, thinking of Monaco, really, the DRS is really pretty pointless here, those tracks. But here at Brazil, you know, Spa really does work really well with the natural speed of the track, and we've overtaken Alonso there very easily. But now onto lap 7 now, and we're going to close up on Jenson Button, and I think that looks like Nico Rosberg, to be honest. So I think Vettel may be in second, trying to battle Hamilton for the lead. But I do think it's going to be a bit harder to overtake Button and Rosberg. We've got the DRS within 1 second, but in the past, Button has been a bit notorious to overtake, really, in this career mode. He's always put up a good fight. And at the moment, Vettel is in the lead of the Grand Prix. So, oh, good job, teammate. Good job. 1:12 dead from Vettel, and he's into the lead of the Grand Prix. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. I don't usually applaud Vettel as my teammate here in the Red Bull. We've had our differences, but I've got to give him props there. He's doing me a favour if Hamilton comes in second today and I can't overtake him. At least that brings down the deficit to how much he's going to overtake me in the points haul. But Vettel at the moment in first place, and maybe hopefully he can slow down Hamilton for me. I don't know, we'll see. And right now we're trying to overtake Button for P4 down the inside maybe of this corner. It's going to be close. I think he's going to stick it on the inside, and he does. We're going to maybe try the switch back, but nope, it's worked horribly. If you just saw there, I tried the switchback maybe. I slowed down a little bit on the apex and tried to cut back on him and hit the apex even harder, but it really didn't work, and he just shot away, really. So, my bad. So we're going to try and overtake him now on going onto the pit straight up this hill climb. Hopefully we can get a good exit. Yes, we do. I think we're going to close up on him, obviously, with slipstream and then DRS. And the engine is looking okay. Obviously, we're not going to go to rich mix. We do have to save that fuel eventually. So not into rich mix, just with pure DRS and the slipstream. Here we go, around the outside on the right-hand side of the track. And we've overtaken Jenson Button for 4th place into the first corner. And that was another really nice, easy move with the DRS. It's all going very smoothly at the moment. But I feel with Rosberg up next, I think it may be a little bit trickier. Just a little bit with the Mercedes Works team, obviously. And as I mentioned before, if they have DRS, I think it may be a bit even more trickier. But Rosberg at the moment looks like he's quite isolated from everyone. So I think that may be a bit easier for us. So here on lap 16 now, we've got DRS. Vettel set another fast lap at the Grand Prix. Jeez, man, just banging in the purple times right now. But we're closing up on Nico Rosberg there into turn 1. We can see his name tag pop up, so we're pretty damn close. And we will be in the DRS zone onto the back straight. Will we try and close up on him? I think there's a back marker in front of him, so I'm not too sure. He may have DRS himself, which will be an issue, as I said. So let's see. No, looks like we are closing up on him. So he didn't have DRS, I don't think, on Rosberg. So let's try and close up on him. Going up towards that hill climb, obviously, in Sector 2 now. And we're closing up, hopefully getting a bit of a long tow here. Just a little bit of a tow. Yes, he's getting held up by Vern. And Vern is holding him up. Vern being lapped here by Rosberg and myself. Rosberg going on the left-hand side. I'm going down the inside of him. And we've overtaken Rosberg. Thank you very much, Vern. Jean-Eric Vern holding up Rosberg. Rosberg went to the left of him. I went to the right, and it looks like the right was the better option down the inside. And we've overtaken him and lapped Vern for 3rd place. So thank you very much, Vern. Obviously, Red Bull will be sending Toro Rosso a little cheeky check in the mail, I think, just to say thank you for that. Vern doing a little bit of help there to overtake Rosberg. So now, Hamilton, 7.7 ahead of us now. So I don't think we'll be able to overtake him before the pit stops. So we'll have to see how that goes after the pit stop. So Vettel set another fastest lap of the Grand Prix. 1:11.7, so he's really banging in the times. We're coming into the pits now for our first option tyre pit stop. I know on the strategy it said prime at the start, but I'm actually thinking if the rain comes, 51%, I think it's going to come about halfway. So if we just go option, always be on the fastest tyre possible. I think that will be the better option instead of going to prime tyres. So the better option is going on the options again. So we're in 5th place at the moment. Hamilton is in 4th. I believe he pit as well. Vettel has stayed out a little bit, so we'll have to see how everything pans out once everyone has pitted. But we're on lap 23 now, cutting later on to lap 32. So quite some way into the Grand Prix, into this stint really. And we are now 2nd place. Hamilton is 1st. Rosberg is 3rd. Okay, that's a bit confusing. Okay, that means Vettel has either pit and mucked something up, or he is inevitably crashed out with a realistic damage mod. 20 runners in the Grand Prix, so the 2 out may be Vettel and someone else, but we've just closed up on Hamilton, and we just narrowly missed Hülkenberg there as we really tried to close up on Hamilton. Hamilton getting held up by back markers, much like his teammate earlier. He was held up by Hülkenberg, and we tried to overtake him on the run up to that hill, but Hülkenberg sort of got in the way, and I narrowly missed him and had to go on the grass to have a bit of divertive action there. And now on to lap 33, we're closing up on Hamilton. We are in the DRS zone there on the pit straight, and we will be on the back straight. Can we try and overtake him to lead this race? Obviously, he is 10 points ahead. If we overtake him and he is in 2nd, and that is how the race ends, then we will be... Oh my god, no, jeez, that was too close for comfort. We tried to overtake Hamilton there around the outside. We lost the back end and we nearly smashed into a side pod. But as I was saying, if you overtake him for 1st place and he finishes up in 2nd in this race, that means we get 7 points on him, and we will go to 3 points left between us for Abu Dhabi. So let's try and overtake him. Didn't really work on that time. Lost the back end really, and that was a very weird sort of losing the back end, and we just narrowly, we could have easily smashed our front wing into a side pod there, and that would have been maybe a DNF for him, maybe a DNF for me. So luckily we didn't, and we caught the car, and now we're going on towards lap 34 as we climb up the hill and onto the pit straight. We're just going to try and overtake him this time. The engine's getting a little bit hot there, going a bit orange, redder by the minute actually. It's going nearly red now, and we're closing up on Hamilton. Hopefully we can get a long tow with DRS. Let's try and overtake him now onto lap 34. I don't think we're going to get him. Our engine is absolutely red hot at the moment. We're in rich mix at the moment. We're going to go down to standard to hopefully cool down the engine a little bit, because it does impact your performance a tiny little bit, having the engine a bit too hot, which I always feel is a bit weird, because in real life you never see this issue in real life, so I don't know why Codemasters put that in the game. But moving on, so we're closed up on Hamilton. We couldn't get him on either of the DRS straights, so just showing the straight line speed and flexing the muscles in the Mercedes there. So we're going to have to try and maybe be a bit more clever and try and maybe overtake him in some of these corners here in Sector 2. I think that's maybe what will get him. So we're just going to close up on it in the braking zone, right behind him in the gearbox. Hopefully we can stick with him. Looks like he's on the prime tyres actually, and we've got to lap 37 now. So it's been a few laps and we're still right up his gearbox. As you can see, pretty much an identical braking zone there to the last cut. and we're right behind him still. Hopefully we can maybe try and get him. He's going very slow in this corner, actually. Went very slowly. We've done a little nice cutback. We're going to try and go around the outside, and we have, of Hamilton just about side by side, going a little bit wide there, but I think we have overtaken him. Yes, we have hit the apex, and we have overtaken Lewis Hamilton for first place in this Grand Prix on lap 37. I think I caught him a bit sort of napping really on the apex of that right-hander, and we've overtaken him for first place there. Hamilton is now second. We are going to get 7 points over him if it all ends like this. But no, the Mercedes come back at us. Hamilton down the inside. Rosberg is right behind me, so both Mercs attacking me. And this will be an absolute disaster if I go down to the P3 from P1. Rosberg set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, so he's banging in the purple times. Hamilton right behind me. Rosberg right behind me. I'm going to go the inside now to try and defend from both these cars. I'm going to defend from Hamilton, but Rosberg has got me round the outside, unfortunately, but that was probably the best scenario if one of them was going to overtake me. I would rather have it been Rosberg, and we defended from Hamilton pretty aggressively there, you must say. But Rosberg in first now, I'm in second, Hamilton is third, so obviously you get 18 for second and Hamilton gets 15, so that will be only 3 points we get on him if it finishes like this. As you can see on lap 40 now, it is absolutely chucking it down now. It's overcast conditions, and I think it is pretty much time for the intermediate tyres at this stage. As you can see, the spray coming off Rosberg's tyres as he went onto the apex, and losing the back end a little bit here and there. So I think it is definitely time for the intermediate tyres, and on lap 40, that means we've got 21 laps left. So I think there's time to go to the full wets. I definitely think there's time to go to the full wets. Generally, on this game, the intermediate tyre period is not too long. It's usually maybe a few laps, so I think definitely we'll get to full wet. But onto lap 41, we've actually stayed out with Rosberg. I was going to go in, as you saw, I did change the intermediate tyres on the onto the menu for the pit crew. But Rosberg stayed out, so I thought I'd actually stick with him and just kind of maybe try and see if, the AI have got something on me. Because sometimes, I can muck it up and go a bit too early versus the AI. So I decided to stick with Rosberg. It actually ended up being probably the wrong idea, because as you can see, we just lost the rear there. And really, I think with the conditions right now, we could have maybe jumped him and got the undercut there if we went a bit earlier on the intermediates. But hey-ho, we're still behind him. We haven't lost any positions. We haven't lost any major time there. And we're in second. But both Mercs, oh god, no, both Mercs have gone to the pits. So that means they have to stack their pit stops. And I'm right behind their pit box. And yep, just as I thought, I've been held up by the Mercedes stacking. So you couldn't see it on camera. Unfortunately, the camera angle wasn't good enough to show us what happened there. But Rosberg made his pit stop. Hamilton had to stack up behind him. And Hamilton was in the way of me leaving my own pit box. So the Mercedes sort of unintentionally maybe held me up in the pits there a little bit. It didn't really work too much because I'm still ahead of Hamilton. We have lost a bit of time to Rosberg. But obviously, fresh intermediate tyres. We will try and close up on him. And hopefully we can get him, hopefully later on in the race. So 3.5, we can definitely try and close that up. But Merck's being a little bit cheeky there, trying to do the double stack maybe to hold me up, but I don't think that was pretty much intentional. But now we're coming to lap 44. Obviously with the storm mod, the spray is coming so much off Rosberg's car there. The F1 cars are basically like vacuum cleaners. They just chuck up water like nothing. And we're right behind Rosberg now into sector 2, closing up on him. And obviously the traction's quite poor off the rear. We're just going to try and stick with him really. And obviously Rosberg, there you go. He's got really good traction off the corners versus me. But I just need to try my best to stick with him, because on the straights, getting right up in the slipstream is really good in this game, and we can get in the slipstream on the pit straight coming up to what we're coming up to now, basically in through the left hand there. We can really stick with him like we are right now. Lost the rear tad, but if we can get back in the slipstream, I think we can try and slipstream and overtake him with DRS. Obviously DRS disabled in the wet conditions, but here we go on lap 44 in the slipstream. Can't really see much apart from his rain light and name tag, but the spray is absolutely blurring my vision at the moment. I'm going to try and overtake him around the outside. No, we've locked up. We've got in the grass there, and we've gone horribly wrong. We have to go wide, have to go on the escape road and go across there. Pretty much what Alonso did in 2012 in Brazil. And we did not make that move. We tried to make it, went around the outside, hit the grass there. Not good, but hopefully we haven't lost too much time, thankfully. So I think we can close up on Rosberg in the next few laps again. 2.5. So that really wasn't too bad, but that has meant we're going to have to overtake him later on in the race now. Lap 49 now. We're on the wet tyres, you can see. We've made our pit stop. I didn't bother showing the pit stop. It's just a bog standard pit stop. I want to get straight back to the action. And we're on -1 lap of fuel. I've saved my fuel early on in the Grand Prix, which I didn't show. We're on -1 now on standard mix, so we will have to save that eventually, but we're too close to Rosberg to want to care about saving fuel at the moment. We've got 11 laps to go. We can save the fuel later on. Actually, it's gone to optimum there in the braking zone. So right now, what that means is we're on the cusp of having enough fuel to end this race. As you can see, it's going to -1 when we accelerate, and it'll go back to optimum when we brake. So we're just on the cusp. So this is the perfect conditions for our car now. We're the lightest possible we could be on every single lap, and we're right behind Rosberg now, 6/10 behind him. Looks like he got held up a little bit by that back marker, which was, I believe, a Toro Rosso, was it? I think it was. And we're going to try and close up on Rosberg. Looks like there's another back marker up ahead. So can he try and help us a little bit, this back marker, into Sector 2 now? We're going to, just try and keep with Rosberg. He's going to have better traction. If we can just try and keep with him, that'll be good. Lost the rear a little bit there, got on the curbing. But 2 back markers ahead of us. Will they play a part in this? Let's see. Again, Rosberg caught napping, much like Hamilton did when we overtook him in the dry there on that corner. I don't know why the Mercs are just falling asleep on that corner. But Rosberg's going a bit slowly there on that left-hander, which is, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name. I know the name corner, but I'm not going to try and pronounce it. I'll just save myself the embarrassment. But we're going to close up on Rosberg now on the pit straight with the slipstream. The spray is absolutely coming down, and I'm just about to use rain light, but here we go. Trying to overtake him maybe down the inside. I think will be better this time, so around the outside, and bang, there we go for first place of the Brazilian Grand Prix, overtaken Rosberg. That will be first place in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Awesome stuff, and we've overtaken him. Hamilton is going to come in second place. Unfortunately, he overtook his teammate in the next 10 laps, but we're going to come through for first place in the Brazilian Grand Prix. We are now 3 points behind Hamilton going into Abu Dhabi. It is all very, very close, guys, but that has been the best Grand Prix it could have been, the Brazilian Grand Prix. Obviously, Rosberg could have come second and done me a favour, but why would he? So we've got 25 points, Hamilton 18, so we've gained 7 points on him. That means we will be 3 points behind him going into Abu Dhabi, which is Abu Double, obviously. Double points, unfortunately. I can't do much about it. The game is double points, so we will do double points. And that will also make it a bit spicier because, well, it sort of just means if me and Hamilton are both behind in lower positions, it does make it a bit more interesting to see if I'm going to overtake him in the championship. But 3 points behind, I'm feeling very confident. I'm feeling very, very confident. And I think we can get him. I truly believe that. If you guys think I can do it, then do comment below that. If you did enjoy that episode, then do give it a like. And Hamilton 3 points ahead of us in the championship. Rosberg takes third place now from Vettel off that DNF of his. The Mercs are ahead in the constructors, so me and Vettel need to work hard as well at Abu Dhabi to try and overtake them in the constructors as well. But I've been aarava. I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, give it a like, comment below any thoughts. Subscribe if you're new around here for weekly F1 content just like this. Again, I've been aarava. Hope you enjoy the rest of the day, and I will see you guys next time.